Do you learn better by reading what a speaker has to say? Are you someone who would rather see information on a PowerPoint? Do you learn best by staying in motion? There are several different learning styles an audience may use to gain understanding of a lecture. There are auditory learners, visual print learners, visual learners, and kinesthetic learners. Auditory learners prefer to hear a lecture on what the speaker has to say. Visual learners like to see statistics, bar graphs, pie charts, or line graphs on a PowerPoint with informative talk. Kinesthetic learners learn best when they see the speaker making gestures to emphasize a key point and asking questions about the topic of discussion. They also use active learning methods such as writing while listening or participating in group activities. Visual print learners would rather read printed handouts that the speaker can give after he or she is done talking rather than having speech presented orally. Some listeners probably won't be interested in what you have to say, but don't be discouraged. A British writer by the name of G.K. Chesterton once said, "There is no such thing as an uninterested topic, there are only uninterested people." To maintain an audience's attention, you can start your speech by asking a rhetorical question. What is a rhetorical question anyways? A rhetorical question supports the persuasive effect of a question rather than receiving an answer. For example, a rhetorical question would be, did the Cardinals just win the World Series? Is the Pope Catholic? Who cares anyways? Another way to pique an audience's interest is to tell a story. Storytelling is a way of connecting your message to people of different ethnic backgrounds. Good stories includes conflict, incorporates action, creates suspense, and incorporates humor. An example of a conflict is my parents and I conflict with my street racing. The key to a simulated action is to keep the plot moving. For instance, when you go watch a movie at a theater, it has a beginning stage, the heart that leads to the conclusion, and the ending that wraps it all up. Another way to fascinate your listeners is to create suspense. When you create a plot that leads to an uncertain decision or a doubtful outcome, it will maintain your audience's attention because they will want to know what will happen next. Adding humor to your speech at the right time can also help sustain your audience's attention. I just bought a brand new 2012 Ford Mustang. I drove this car all the way from my I just bought a 2012 Ford Mustang in Orlando, and I drove this car all the way to my friend's house in Fort Lauderdale. And as I was pulling up into her driveway, she comes outside and asks me, "Andre, you drive now?" I said, "No, I swam." It is important that you build in redundancy with your audience so that they remember what you say. Some of your audience's minds might wander off into space while listening to your speech. In that case, it is essential to repeat key points in your essay. Use visual aids such as outlines and handouts to ensure that your listeners will come away from your speech. Also, in your conclusion, you can include a brief statement, include quotes, or ask questions, or ask a question that will leave your listeners thinking about you and the message that you gave to your audience.